everyone, it's Lisa here. In this tutorial we'll be drawing a cute little deer using the Cute Art Creator. I've gone ahead and created a document in Procreate that's 3,900 pixels by 4,950, and I'm just going to open that up. Included in the brush set you'll find swatches for this tutorial called the Cute Art Deer, and you can go ahead and install those if you want to follow along and use exactly the same colors that I have. So the first thing we want to do is stamp out our template, and that's going to be on the first layer. So coming over to our brushes, I'm going to navigate towards the animal head, so choosing that. I'm just going to stamp once. I've just used the light pink color. You can choose any light color that you like, and I'm just going to enlarge that, probably something like that. And then on a new layer above that we're going to start drawing. But first, before I do that, on that same layer I just want to give myself some line work just so that I can get an idea of what my character is going to look like. So coming down to the pencil, I'm just going to make some markings just to see. We're going to be using these ears for the deer. So our facial features, our little nose is probably going to sit somewhere around there, and we're going to have features that come down. I'm just using this as my guide, that line. And we're probably going to have a little nose that does something like that, and our eyes will probably sit around there. And then of course we will be creating our little deer antlers. But that gives me a good starting point. So I'm going to create, I've already created that new layer, so using that layer we created, coming to the smooth inker, I'm going to choose a mustard color, and I'm just going to start following the line work. And then I'm just going to fill that by dragging my color swatch onto that area. And then we're going to be using white for this area of the face. So in order for us to see that, I'm first going to work on the background. I just want to create a little frame behind our deer. So just above our template layer, we're going to be choosing that pink color. Again, I'm using the smooth inker, and I'm just going to create like a little sort of wonky frame and fill that. And then just set that to multiply just for now. And the reason why I'm doing that, because I want to be able to see that template. We may actually adjust the shape later, but I just wanted to get that going in the meantime. And above that, I'm going to create a new layer using white as my color. I'm still using the smooth inker. And I'm going to redo that. Just closing off that shape. This should actually be above here so we can see what's going on. Okay, so I've closed that, and now I'm going to fill that. Just want to bring it back down because it actually needs to sit there. Okay, so I'm happy now with the color of the face. I'm going to start adding some features. So just turning that layer off for now. Above all my layers, I'm going to choose black, and we're going to use the pencil. You can stick to the inker if you like. I just like the grungy look of the pencil. And create our little nose. And just a little bit of an eyebrow. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cute. And now we're going to just add some detail like fur and antlers. So I'm going to turn that template off. We don't need it anymore. So making sure I'm working above my mustard color. I'm going to hit the plus sign for a new layer. And I'm going to choose the darker brown. And coming down to the messy thin fur brush, I'm just going to have some fun and start putting some cute little fur on her face, something like that. And then using our smooth inker, just create some definition to her ear area. So I'm just going to create one line over here and bringing it to a point and then just filling that area. Going to do the same this side. And you can decide to use the same layer if you like, but I'm going to create a new layer for her antlers. And coming down to our foliage brushes, I'll be using the quirky branches. So I'm holding my pencil, and the reason why I'm doing that because I want to adjust the size and the distance of those elements. So we're waiting for that line created to come up, and I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going to extend that line. So using our smooth inker, just want to be sure I have the same width. Yeah, that looks about right. And what I want to do is just create a little bit thicker towards the bottom. And then just maybe make that slightly smaller. It looks a little too big. Just want to take my snapping off. Yeah, I'd say that looks about right. And now we're just going to duplicate that, select it, and now I just want to flip it. So I'm going to flip it horizontally and then move it into position. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty cute. If you wanted a little bit more quirkiness, you could rotate one of the antlers to make them just a little bit of a different angle, but I'm going to leave them like that. And we now get, you can actually flatten that as well, just to save on layers. So I'm going to do that, merge it down. And now I'm just going to add some cute little cheeks. First, we're going to use the stitch brush, and I'm still on my brown color. And I'm just going to draw a circle and another circle. This little guy is not quite the same. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to bring it down a dash. So all I did was choose my freehand selection and just selected that area. And then we're going to add some pink, just a little pink splodge in the middle there. So I'm creating a new layer underneath that stitch, and I'm going to use the dotty brush and make sure the size is quite large. And coming over to our pink color, and I'm just going to stamp once. That's too big. Of course you can draw this, but I quite like using this brush. And it's not cooperating. There we go. And then our final touch is to work on the background area. So I'm going to come down to that layer that we created and just move that into position. Probably something like that. And then choosing one of the double brushes. I'm going to use the loopy scallop brush and choose the same color as our frame. You can create this on a different layer if you like, but I'm going to use the same layer. And then we're just simply going to just test it first to see if we're happy with the size. I think that looks pretty good. And you're just going to loosely, in a kind of wonky way, follow that around for some quirky effects. And if you don't like that bit like I did, I'm just going to adjust that. So coming over to adjustments and liquify, I'm going to use the push function and I'm just going to adjust that slightly. I'm happy with that. And we're going to now add a cute little pattern effect in the background. So this, I've gone ahead, I'm just going to bring that back to its original behavior or original brush size. So what I want to do with this now, your grain should be about the same size as that if you haven't adjusted it. What I want to do is I just want to bring the grain up in size. So I'm going to tap once on the brush, come over to grain, and then I'm just going to use my slider. I think I'll take it to 25% and see if that's big enough. And I just want to put that on a new layer in case we don't like what we've created. Yeah, I think that 25% did the trick. And now you can just simply add your cute little dots. Of course, you can adjust the grain just like I did for this brush for any of the patterns. And I definitely encourage you to do that to suit your particular project that you're working on. And it's okay if you lift your pencil because it will pick up where you left off. And then just one last little quirky detail I want to add is just some fur that overlaps the mustard area. So we're going to create a layer above the mustard, and using our white again, I'm going to use that same brush that we used for this fur, which is the messy thin fur brush, and I just want to see the size. Okay, I'm going to bring that size down a dash. So what I want to do is I just want to create a cute little sort of fluffy effect, and I'm just going over that area a few times, and you can decide how dense you want that to be. And I think that's done the trick. And that's it. We've now created a cute little deer in no time at all. I hope you enjoyed that. Happy creating!